Hey there, this is Erica from Highland Hickory Designs and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this pumpkin treat bag, or if you stuff it, it's home decor. So let's get started. So you will need an H8 5mm crochet hook and size 4 medium weight yarn. I'm just using Red Heart and Carrot. You can use any brand of yarn that you prefer. First off, we're going to chain 21. Okay, so for this pattern, you're going to be working in the back loops only. So when we look at a chain, there are 3 loops. There's the front loop, which will be the one that's facing you, the back loop, the one that is facing away from you, and then if you flip it over, there's the bottom loop that is underneath. We're not going to mess with the bottom loop today. We're only working with the front and the back, and for the first part of this round, we're going to work in the back loops only, and we'll get started. So in the second chain from the hook, we're going to work 1 single crochet in the back loop only. In every chain across, we're going to work 1 single crochet for a total of 19 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17, 18, and then 19, and you should have 1 chain left from your starting chain. Now in the last chain, we're going to work 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so those 4 single crochets turned us around to where we are going back the other direction. We're going to be working into what was the front loops of your starting chain, but now they're the back loops because they're facing away from you. So we want to put a single crochet in every back loop until we get to the other side for a total of 18 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and feel free to pause the video if you need more time. Okay, so in our last chain, we already have 1 single crochet that we started out with on that side, and to turn the corner, we need 4 total. So we're just going to put in 3 in this last chain, and that will give us the 4 to get around the edge. So 1, 2, 3, and now it's round, and this forms the base of our bag. So rather than slip stitching in the first single crochet to finish off the round, we're going to work in the round continuously around and round and round without stopping, and this eliminates the hard line up the side of the bag. You'll have a nice smooth uniform exterior of your bag. So in the first single crochet we started for round 1, we're going to single crochet, and in every stitch around you're just going to single crochet through both loops this time, and I'll show you round 2. You will have a total of 44 single crochets the entire way around. So this bag is really great. If you would like to use it for home decor, you would use a polyfill stuffing or fiber fill. You can also give this away as a gift and stuff it with someone's favorite candy. If you can think of other ways to use this bag, feel free to comment below. Okay, so we're at the edge. We're just going to keep working the whole way around, one single crochet in every stitch. Okay, and now we are back at the beginning of the round. And you would just keep working the same all the way around, round and round and round. See how we're starting to get this boat shape? This is the base of our bag. And you will continue to build the sides as you work your rounds. And to save time, I've already worked up the finished bag as far as the orange goes. What you'll need to do is work 30 rows of the orange, and you would just count the rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on, all the way up to 30. And in order to know if you have 30 complete rows, you would count 30 on this side, flip it over, and 30 on this side. So for instance, if you had 30 on one side and 29, you would know that you need to go another half around to the other edge, and then you'd have 30 and 30 on both sides so that it's even. So once you get to the side, you would slip stitch in any one of these over here, any one of these stitches. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be precise, just as long as it's at the edge of your bag. And then finish off with your orange. And now we're going to attach brown for the stem. Okay, so one other thing I forgot to mention before we get started with the brown is that you get to decide which part of the bag you want to be the outside. And the stitches are actually different on one side than the other. If you can see, it's very subtle, but I prefer the look of the right side of the stitches more than I do the wrong side. But if you, it's totally preference. If you like this side, go ahead and flip your bag inside out, and those will be all your, what your stitches would look like on the outside. So when we're attaching brown, it's best to do it right around the area where we left off with the orange. And you can even tie these two together to make them more secure. But to get started, chain 1, and then you would just continue single crocheting around in every stitch, just the way you were doing with the orange. You can crochet over top of your tails if you prefer, but you don't have to. You can absolutely weave those in with a tapestry needle. And I'm going to skip ahead so you don't have to sit around and wait for me to finish crocheting these rows. You'll need 7 more rows of brown. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, our 7 rows of brown are finished. So you would just slip stitch into the next stitch, finish off, and weave in your end. And if you know how, you can do one of those seamless joins, but this yarn is so dark that I don't really think it would matter that much. But that's preference. If you'd like to do that, you can. Now we're going to create the tie that goes around the top, the green spiral. This tie, before we finish the face. For the tie, we're going to use medium time. That's T-H-Y-M-E, not T-I-M-E, in the red heart, or any green that you choose. And we're going to chain 51. For this part, you don't have to work through back loops or front loops. Whatever loops you normally work through will be fine. So in the second chain from the hook, you're going to single crochet, well, 2 single crochets in the same chain. Putting more than 1 single crochet in each chain is going to give you that spiral that we want. So for a total of 15 chains, we're going to put 2 single crochets in every chain. So 2 in the next chain. Two in the next chain. See how it's starting to curl? So you'll do this for a total of 30 stitches, 2 single crochets in every chain. 29, 30. Okay, and when we're done, we can kind of shape this into a better spiral. But we'll worry about that later. So for the 20 stitches in the center, we're just going to have 1 single crochet in every stitch. This will be tied around the bag. The spirals will hang, but we don't need the spiral the whole way across. So just 20 stitches, 20 single crochets, 1 in every chain. So now we have this nice straight part for tying and our spirals on one end. And for the last 15 stitches, we're going to create another spiral on this end by working 2 single crochets in each chain. Okay, so when you're finished, you will have a total of 80 single crochets on your green spiral. And you will just finish off weave in both of these ends into your spiral, and then we're going to set this aside until we're ready for it later. Let's work on the face. So I tried to crochet a face on like an applique kind of piece to put on here, but it just did not look right. So I ended up going with felt. If you could crochet a piece to put on there, more power to you. But felt is much easier. So we need 3 triangles for the eyes. And we're going to need a mouth, and I'll show you an easier way to do this mouth. So let's start with the mouth. Take a piece of felt, you know, however wide you want to make it. I'm not going to make it this wide. I'm going to shorten it just a little bit. I already made a cut to kind of give me an idea of how wide I want to make it. Okay, so you're going to fold your felt in half, and the smile is going to go in a half circle this way. Just do the best that you can. I apologize if you can hear my dogs in the background. Okay, so when you open this up, you have a nice wide smile. Just kind of straighten it up if you need to. And now you can cut out teeth. Use any smile that you want. You know, it's your pumpkin. Make it however you want. Scary, spooky, happy. Totally your choice. Vampire teeth. You can get creative with this one. But just like the example, you just cut out some little squares. For some teeth. Oops. All right, it's not perfect, but it's good enough for this example. So we have our smile. Now let's make some triangles for the eyes and nose. So what I like to do is cut out one triangle. And if you decide that you are happy with the shape of the triangle, just use it as a template. This is probably hard to see on camera, but it'll be easier to see when it's you doing it in real life. So you cut 3 the same. Now we have 2. And then cut out your third. And to try to hurry this along a little bit, you can use a hot glue gun, which is what I used. You can use fabric glue, or you could use a regular sewing needle and black thread and hand stitch it on. But I noticed that the hot glue works really, really well. They are not budging. These have been hot glued on. And it's not going anywhere. So once you have your face on, you're pretty much done. You get to decide, do you want to stuff it with some polyfill and make it like a pillow, like the example? Or you can stuff it with candy. And these bags are 9 inches by 5 1/4 inches wide. So they really hold a large amount of candy. So when you're finished, you would cinch the top, take your spiral, wrap it around. Hopefully you'd have these ends weaved in. I didn't get a chance to. Make sure your spirals are in the front. Just give it one good tie. And then you would fix your spirals however you want them. And there you go. That is how you make your candy bag. You can even choose not to put a face on it if you don't want to, and it would just be a pumpkin. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next